Hey, good evening, everyone. It's your girl, Miss Analytical, and I'm coming to you straight out NYC on this Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. weekend. So I am going to discuss Martin Luther King, and I'm happy to because I feel it's like your break from all the nonsense that has happened this weekend. And so, for those who don't know, today is the actual date of Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. He was born on this very day in 1929. He would be 94 years old if he were alive today. So I'm reading from USA Today News. It's going to be a short read. And it's a really good article. Like if you want to see photos that you've never seen before, videos, it's really good. So it reads, remembering Martin Luther King Jr.'s life and legacy through intimate, iconic images. Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. made history as a defining leader of the civil rights movement who preached a message of nonviolent resistance. His hand in organizing a number of significant protests, marches, and speeches helped bring about landmark legislation, most notably the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965, and his message continues to resonate today. On April 4th, 1968, King was fatally shot on the balcony of the Lorraine Motel in Memphis, Tennessee. King was only 39 at the time of his death. James Earl Ray was arrested in London in June 1968, and the next year he confessed to the crime and was sentenced to 99 years in prison. King's birthday, January 15th, was officially recognized as a national holiday in 1986. In 2011, he became the first African American to receive a monument on the National Mall in Washington. I remember that. As the nation pauses to reflect on the life, death, and legacy of the towering historical figure, these lesser-known pictures depict intimate and iconic moments of Dr. King. So these are the images that you'll see. It's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. So I have always known about Dr. King since I was about 5 years old. I first learned about him, and this is the irony, I first learned about him when I was in kindergarten. And there was a book about Dr. King's life, and it was told for children. It had illustrations and so forth. And I had saw photos of him. I knew who he was, but I didn't know who he was right away. And then I'll never forget, I was listening to my teacher read the book, and I read about this lady stabbing him. And I was like, wait a minute, Dr. King got stabbed? And then it's the first time I heard about it, but I wouldn't hear about it for years until I was an adult. No, sorry. When I was 9, when I read his biography from Scholastic Books, and then when I was an adult. So there are a lot of moments in Dr. King's life that we don't know about, because once he passed away, the media gave us a letter from a Birmingham jail, I Have a Dream. Then they gave us photos of him when he won the Nobel Peace Prize, Selma, he crossed the Edmund Pettus Bridge, and then the mountaintop speech. There's so many things about Dr. Martin Luther King. There's a plethora of events in his life. It's amazing. He had an amazing life. This man could have done He didn't have to sacrifice his life for us, but he chose to. The problem I have is that there are people in my community that don't care about Dr. King. And they get this whole notion that Dr. King led us to a burning building, and it's like the excuse as to why they don't like him. Dr. King trusted integration at first because he thought that because there weren't any options legally for us to have businesses, to have adequate schools, the only way for us to have adequacy in our life was through integration. But in the end, he realized that integration, it was only used as a tool to benefit white people financially and to hurt us economically. It wasn't a benefit for us. It was a benefit for them in the long run. So I'm going to close it because I'm going to talk about Dr. King more so. But Dr. King is the same age as I am. I'm the same age Dr. King is. Dr. King was 39 years old when he passed. Okay? I will be 40 in August. I am 39 and 5 months old. Dr. King was 39 and 3 months old. No, he wasn't even 3 months old. He was 39, 2 months old, and 3 weeks old when he was assassinated. I've officially outlived Dr. King. I didn't even realize it until just now. Close to a minute ago. I've outlived Dr. King. That's weird. That is so weird. I've outlived Dr. King. I remember I did the first essay I ever did was on Dr. King. And I remember that I was nervous because I thought essays were done when you were in high school. So my teacher, Mr. Cohen, he was a huge fan of Dr. King. He said, you have to do this essay on Dr. King. So this was before the Black History essay. And it was due January the 20th. I'll never forget. And I thought essay was spelled S.A. I thought it was an abbreviation. Because I said, what is an abbreviation for essay? He said, no, it's a word. I said, essay is a word? He said, yeah. And he wrote it down. It's spelled E-S-S-A-Y. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so scared. I have to write an essay, Granny. I don't know what to do. It's about Dr. King's life. I mean, I could do a book report, but he wants an essay. So my grandma said, you're going to do good because you have no choice and you'll get an A. So I knew I was intelligent and I was one of the top students in my 4th grade class. So I write the essay and I said, if I get a B at this, I'm okay because this is my first time getting it. But if I get less than a B, I'm going to get my ass kicked by my grandma because she was a huge Dr. King fan. So I can't let my teacher down, I can't let myself down, and I can't get my ass kicked by my grandma. So I hand in the essay on time, and a week later, we get our grade back for it. I got it, and he said to me, don't take yours home. I said, why? He said, because I'm going to hang yours up on this class bulletin board, because all classes in elementary school and junior high had bulletin boards. So what happened was I couldn't take it home. But I told my grandmother I got an A++. She said, I don't believe you. I got to see it. So she walked 3 flights of stairs to see it. And she said, okay, I believe you. So I didn't get a chance to take it home until a month later when the Black History report was put up on the bulletin board. And I did mine on Lena Horne. So I got an A++ on that also. So when all that happened, I mean, 4th grade was 4th grade was a damn good year, I gotta say. So when all of that occurred, I pretty much felt vindicated. And so for me as a person, learning about Dr. King, I felt, this is just me, I felt that his legacy couldn't be ignored. And it was important. But what I also felt is that after being a teenager, people forgot about Dr. King. And also, when Obama got elected, that whole decade, nobody really talked about Dr. King. They really didn't speak about him. But now with the reparations movement and him co-signing reparations and him being a reparationist, he's being revived. And I think to a point, I don't think it's fair. Because I feel that people are only using him for that reason. And I don't like that. But I'm happy that his legacy is, he's coming back to the mainstream like he was when I was a kid. From the age of during the 80s. When we celebrate his birthday. And then also up until I was about 20 years old. So with that being said, in closing, happy birthday, Dr. King. He would have been 94. We can't forget his legacy at all. It's very important. And with that being said, have a wonderful weekend. I will be back tomorrow to talk about 2 things about Dr. King. Please sign up for, please subscribe, sign up for notifications, like, comment, and share, and I'll be back soon. Later. And happy Dr. King holidays.